They looked pretty trash. They looked like they weren't breathing, but they are alive, okay? My first step is 9 a.m. The rehab center doesn't open till 10, and I have to give them a call. I can't just show up with a whole bunch of bunnies. So my husband went out with my oldest to some kitten formula because the internet said bunnies need kitten formula if you don't have bunny formula. The syringe feeding process for these little tiny bunnies is really difficult. They try to jump out of your arms. They are getting stronger. They try to keep their mouth shut so tight so you can't get the little soft tip syringe in their mouth. But we did it. We probably got them a few drops in that first feeding, and they need 2 to 3 cc's or 2 to 3 milliliters with their 2 feeds a day. I'm like, okay, we'll come back to this in a few hours because they're probably just really stressed by being cold and then being moved from their nest. I tried to contact the wildlife rehab center that's about an hour from me. Nobody answered the phone, so I'm like, okay, I'll try calling back later. I started texting and calling people from different counties near me. There's a list online of people who rehab animals. I probably called at least 5, but I got into contact with 3 of them. So the first gal said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I would love to help, but my mom has cancer treatments and I have to go with her today. Like, okay, no problem. So then she sends me another lady's number. Next lady gets on the phone with me and she wants to see pictures, and she's like, yeah, they don't look well. It doesn't look like they have any milk in their system, but maybe she just didn't feed them that morning. I'm not sure. But she was like, you definitely shouldn't feed them. And I was like, uh-oh, I've already syringe fed them twice. And she was like, you need to get them to me tonight. And I was like, okay, you live an hour away from me and we have a funeral and I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it tonight. And she's like, okay, well, if you can't, contact this person. So then I'm in contact with the next person who lives a lot closer to me, actually. And she was like, what time can you get to me? I was like, I don't know, it's probably gonna be pretty late, like 9 p.m. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't take neonates, which is what they are because they're so little. And I also can't take them that late. I'm like, okay. She's like, contact this person. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna contact Deb. But I actually didn't contact Deb because at that point it was time for me to leave to take my kids to my in-laws and go to the funeral. So then here I am feeding the bunnies. I think we fed them 3 times that day. So we attempted the first feed, which was barely drops for most of them. And then the next feed, we definitely got a lot more drops in, and same with the last feed. I feel like I was finally getting a rhythm down. They got more than they need for the last feed, but I'm not sure if their total equaled 4 milliliters. The next day, the most important thing to me, if I have these bunnies, is to make sure that their intake is actually closer to the 4 milliliters a day. And if I can get them to eat a little bit more, I will. But I read online that the leading cause of death for rehabbing little bunnies is overfeeding them. So I'm like, okay, I need a perfect balance. Also, I figured out that these bunnies need secatropes, which is bunny droppings or poop from an adult bunny. So contacted my friend who I was like, I'm pretty sure she still has bunnies. And I was like, hey, do you still have a bunny? And she's like, yep. I'm like, can I have some of their poop? And she's like, sure. Why? I need to feed baby bunnies this poop, apparently. Her husband collected the poop